Hello and welcome back to our show, Current Affairs and Overshares. I'm Chloe.
I'm Billy Thomas.
And today we're going to go through some of the top stories of the week and have a little bit of a chat while doing so. So Billy, how's your week been?
It's been a bit of a chaotic week, hasn't it? It really, this show is going to be, might be a bit more music than usual because we have had a busy time of it. We did have a week off, so hopefully you're looking forward to us being back inside your ears for a new week. I think we both had quite a good week off. I became even older than before. I'm now a 21-year-old man. But I had a nice birthday, went home for the week, had a really good time, did a lot of things. And then we've come back, and this week the academic grind is really on this week, isn't it, Chloe?
We haven't left the library. Those walls I'm sick of. I hate it. Billy was saying how he wants there soon to be a microwave put in so we can have both our meal deal at lunchtime and then have a cooked meal in the evening. Because obviously you need a hot meal a day. And if we're living in the library...
They should have a room where they just make microwavable meals and there's a little menu on the tables. You put an order in for a number 3, macaroni cheese, and then some library worker will crawl upstairs and put it in front of you. That would just be so good.
All I would want is free coffee.
I think I could live there. I genuinely think, if I had a Ravlin membership where they've got showers, what's stopping me having breakfast, lunch and dinner? I can sleep in there if I want to. I reckon I can find a good sofa.
You can have a shower late at night, go back into the library. I don't know how it works. How do they, do the security guards kick you out if you're sleeping?
I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't, right? I mean, they might wake you up to be like, do you want to be sleeping? But, I mean, it's still quite easy to get lost. I got lost in the top floor yesterday while I was searching around. I ended up going through a door into the quiet section. Took 2 steps in, was like, oh, this is the quiet section. My stomach decides this is the time to do the loudest rumble of all time. Rumble so loudly. I'm like, Christ, this is the quiet section. And I walk out. So to anyone in there, it looks like I just walked in, asserted my dominance with the sound of my stomach, and then just evacuated the room.
I don't like the quiet room. It stresses me out because you feel like you walk in, you have to really quietly put your bag down, open your laptop.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
No.
Another day though. Another day in the library ahead for me. Yes. I'm assuming you'll be in that library as well.
Yes, I'll be in the library too.
I'm not leaving the library until my assignment is done. So that could be 7 p.m. or more likely it could be 11 p.m. But either way, whenever it's done, I'm walking home. I've got a fridge full of beer, and I'm going to. And it doesn't matter when I sleep tonight because, unlike you, Chloe, I don't have an exam tomorrow.
I have a very big exam tomorrow that coincides with 2 due dates for other exams. Yeah, which is not ideal.
Yeah, no. I've got a nice little academic grind. I've just got 1 assignment to do. Chloe's got 2. Is it 2 assignments and an exam?
I had an essay, a project, and an exam tomorrow. But I'm at the end of the project. I mean, this time yesterday, I was sort of getting to the end of my project. Billy told me that today was going to be his writing day, and yesterday was his artsy day. So he just spent the day photoshopping cool pictures for his project.
Bit of imagination. They're all done. I was sick of Photoshop by then. I was actually getting angry with Photoshop. I'd click on something and it wouldn't move, and I'd be literally saying out loud, what are you doing? And eventually I just had to evacuate. But no, today is the day. I've got, technically it's only 1,000 words, but and knowing me, I will write like you did, 3,000. We'll see how it goes. I'm sick to death of the Hampshire Fire and Rescue Service at this point. I tell you, I came out of the library yesterday at 10 p.m. and while I was waiting to cross the road leaving the library, a fire engine walked past, and it felt like I was seeing work colleagues. It felt like they were my friends.
The context is we have to do a PR campaign for Hampshire Fire. Billy doesn't just hate Hampshire Fire.
Yeah, no, I love all the work that the fire service do, and I'm massively grateful for all the help they give to many people. But this campaign we've got to do for PR is
sick to death of it.
A 3-month campaign for the Hampshire Fire Service, theoretically, and God, yeah, but no, the fire engine drove past me, and it was like, yeah, those are my guys.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done so much work
for them.
Yeah, no, fully.
So, I mean, we thought it'd be a good idea. Basically, on the way in, there was loads of cans of drinks going for free in the bottom of the Union. Unfortunately, it wasn't Red Bulls on this occasion. It was a relax and unwind drink called Good Raid. This isn't sponsored, but we thought it would be a good opportunity to start a new series where we review different items
Yeah,
every week.
little review segment. Yeah, they were a big stand with Good Ray's natural CBD, relax and unwind, sparkling. The flavour is elderflower and yuzu. Now, I don't know what yuzu is. It sounds like a sort of Asian social media, but elderflower is. I quite like elderflower, so I
like elderflower.
I've got high hopes. There's a big sign that says 0% THC, so there's nothing untoward going on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to relax and unwind because I've got a long day ahead of me. But you tell you what.
Should we do it at the same time?
ASMR
right,
can cracking.
I haven't got grip. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Oh, that was amazing.
If that's not made you want to drink, ladies and gentlemen. Right.
Right, you have a go first. I don't want it to be silence while we sip our drink.
Okay. Should I ASMR drink it, or do you think they'll be
No,
disgusted
don't do
by
that.
the sound?
Go away from
big
the mic.
slurp of them.
Oh, he's taking a big slurp. His face isn't showing much.
Okay. It's not got a very strong flavour, but I think I'd rather it not have a strong flavour.
Oh.
I don't
It
mind
doesn't
that.
taste of anything.
I know it tastes like very mildly elderflower. It's like sparkling water that someone has like wafted elderflower over.
That is actually like a perfect. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It's quite refreshing though. I can drink this during the show.
I've never had, like, you know how they do like CBT like tablets and stuff.
Mm.
I've never like had one of those, so maybe I'll be extremely relaxed now.
Maybe
We'll see.
I used to have CBD energy drinks. I don't know how that works, but I used to have loads of them because being cool when I was 14, if I saw a can in the convenience store with like a cannabis leaf on it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. That's just me being cool, and I'll be like, oh, it's actually done nothing. But you know, I can drink this, and you know what, I'll drink this while we get into the news. Should we play a song, or should we start the segment?
We'll play you a little song. So this will hopefully be 21 Pilots Levitate.
Since the 7th grade, I learned to fire breathing. Though I feed on things that fell, you can learn to levitate with just a little help. Learn to levitate with just a little help. Calm down, calm down. Cowards only come through when the hour's late and everyone's asleep. Mind you now, show up, show up. I know I shouldn't say this, but a curse from you is all that I would need right now. Man. Calm down, calm down. Cowards only come through when the hour's late and everyone's asleep. Mind you now, show up, show up. I know I shouldn't say this, but a curse from you is all that I would need right now. Danger in the fabric of this thing I made. I probably shouldn't show you, but it's way too late. My heart is with you hiding, but my mind's not made. Now they know it, like we both have for some time, I'd say. They're sparking out first blood, they're circling above. But this is not enough, yeah, this is not what you thought. No, beyond, I just graffiti on a passing train. I got back what I once bought back in that slide. I won't need to replace this culture is a culture of overexposure. Not today, don't feed me to the vultures. I am a vulture who feeds on pain. Sleep in the well-lit room, don't let the shadow through. In several all I knew, yes, several all I thought I could depend on my weekends on the freezing ground that I'm sleeping on. Please keep me from, please keep me down from the ledges. Better tested wooden wedges under doorways. Keep you wooden wedges under doors. Chorus verse, now here comes the 8-8 habits here to hear the worst. Your structure compensates, but compensation feels a lot like rising up to dominate by track. To at least they all know all they hear comes from a place. Oh, I know how to levitate up off my feet, and ever since the 7th grade I learned to fire breathing. Though I feed on things that fell, you can learn to levitate with just a little help. You can levitate with just a little help.
And we are back on air. That was 21 Pilots live on PureFM, Portsmouth's official student radio, and we're going to get into the current affairs. You've had to listen to us moan about our chaotic and academic lives, but the weather is good for once today. I just thought I'd give you an update that for once it is sunny in Portsmouth City, so a big achievement there. But we'll move on to the news, and we'll start off with something that's been in the news for about the last week, really, and that is surrounding one MP, and that's DIANE Abbott. Very divisive MP, I would say. She's not liked by many on the right, and she's liked by many on the left. Everyone has their own opinion of her. She's been the MP for Hackney North and Stoke Newington since 1987, so she is very popular in her area. She was the UK's first female black MP, but a lot has happened in the last week that has over comments from Tory donors, from Tory peers, from the Prime Minister about her whip and Keir Starmer. So I'll just clue you in on her current status, and that is that she's currently sitting as an independent MP because she was suspended last year by the Labour Party. She had the whip removed from her over some comments she made. Now, these comments were in response to an article by Tomiwa Owolade, who wrote an article about racism and how it's not just black and white in its own way. And her comments that she said were that Owolade claims that Irish, Jewish and traveller people all suffer from racism. They undoubtedly experience prejudice. This is similar to racism, and the two words are often used as if they're interchangeable. So essentially, she said that, or suggested that Irish, Jewish and traveller people cannot suffer from racism. They are merely suffering from prejudice, which is obviously a very controversial thing to say. And she was taken up on that. She apologised unreservedly and said that the comments didn't reflect her true opinions and it was a draft. But she said she apologised essentially. But nonetheless, these comments essentially saying that these groups of people couldn't suffer from racism led to her having the whip removed from the party. Whether you think that's right or wrong, I think it's a very understandable decision. I can see both sides of it. But she had the whip removed. And the reason this has all come back to light is because she's been the victim of some comments that have come to light in the last couple of weeks. Now, these comments have come from the Conservative Party's biggest donor. This donor gives at least £10 million to the Conservative Party. He's the Conservative Party's biggest donator. His name is Frank Hester, and he made comments in 2019 that have now come to light about DIANE Abbott, and his comments were that she made him want to hate all black women and that she should be shot. Now, I feel these comments aren't quite so subjective on how you look at them. I think it's quite clear what these comments are and what they represent and how disgusting they are. I think it's quite, there's no other way of putting it. Even the Prime Minister, who initially just said his comments were poor, they weren't right, even the Prime Minister has now admitted those comments by his own party's biggest donator were racist. So there has been a lot of discourse over those comments and the fact that the Conservative Party still accept donations from this man despite these comments. And it's obviously put questions over what the Conservative Party stand for if a man like that is willing to put his money behind them. She's said how DIANE Abbott has said how she is frightened by the comments, considering that 2 MPs have been murdered in recent years. So comments saying that MPs should be shot is obviously inciting violence. And obviously this has led to a lot of people suggesting that the whip should be given back to her so that the Labour Party can defend her, can support her rather than leaving her on her own as an independent MP to defend herself from these allegations. Keir Starmer has said that the words used were abhorrent and called DIANE Abbott a trailblazer in women's politics in the UK, but as far as we know, there are no current plans to give her the whip back. Just wondering your thoughts on the matter, Chloe.
I mean, I didn't know any of that. That was really informative, but no, I think I completely understand where DIANE Abbott, like how she'd be feeling if she's an independent candidate and she's not being given the security of having the Labour Party behind her. A lot of support has come from the cabinet that she was part of, where she was part of the shadow cabinet under Jeremy Corbyn, and a lot of Jeremy Corbyn and his former shadow cabinet have produced a lot of support to her. Obviously, because a lot of them are also independent MPs that have been booted out the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn issued a strong statement in support of her.
it's a tough one because, you know, her comments that she originally made and got removed for were not clever, and they probably weren't thought through. But the difference is that she apologised immediately for them and has clearly been doing good work in the last year, whereas these comments being made are so poor, and some of the other comments made, that you think maybe it would be convenient for Keir Starmer to give her the whip back, not only for that reason, but she has been elected in her constituency since 1987. If you want a surefire seat at the next election,
Yeah.
give her the whip back, because then she can run as a Labour candidate and you have guaranteed a seat.
I mean, from like what I've seen about it, I wouldn't have thought there'd be that much pushback from that either. I mean,
can't think
I
of
remember the
any.
comments originally being made, and I think that there was a lot of sort of like discourse around these comments and whether people agreed or disagreed with them. But I don't remember there being this huge outroar, not to the level of who we'll be talking about in a minute, the Lee Anderson comments.
Yeah, I think that for right or wrong, if there's one thing that politics teaches you, is that time glosses over everything. Do you know what I mean? No matter how bad comments you make are, in enough time, people will forget about them. It's heat of the moment. Politics, it always is, and I don't think there'd be much pushback except for sort of natural reactionary pushback from the Conservative Party to DIANE Abbott getting her whip back. So it'll be an interesting development if she does or doesn't. I'll finish it off with just the comments of Tory peer Lord Marland, who came to the aid of the biggest Tory donor, who has said that he cannot be racist, and he isn't racist because he does a lot of work in Jamaica. So a strong defence there for...
I can't be racist because I've got black friends.
Exactly. So no, despite him saying that DIANE Abbott made him want to hate all black women, he isn't racist because he does work in Jamaica, according to Lord Marland of the Tory peer. I just thought that was a sort of representative comment of the entire thing. What have you got for me, Chloe?
Well, related to that, what is sort of an additional story about Lee Anderson. So you might remember a few weeks ago, if you were a long-time listener of the show, talking about how Lee Anderson was suspended from the Tory party after he made comments about Sadiq Khan and the Muslim community in London. If you didn't hear about that, basically, Lee Anderson suggested that British Muslims were taking over London, and he suggested that Sadiq Khan was allowing this because they're all his friends. That isn't a direct quote, that's sort of a summary of what was said. So in that radio show, I did say that he was in talks with Reform UK's leader, and it came out sort of this week that Lee Anderson would officially be joining Reform UK, and that would mean that he becomes the first MP for Reform UK. Reform UK is a far right and mainstream political party, but obviously he is becoming the first MP. He said he is joined because, quoted, he wants his country back, saying that he represents the views of the British people. He said that he was inspired to join Reform UK after his father told him that he would not be voting for the Conservatives in the next election, and this apparently caused Lee Anderson to think, this is where I want to take my next steps in my political journey. Yeah, it's a mad one. I don't think anyone really expected it in the Tory party, especially as in January he called the Reform leader a pound shop Nigel Farage. He said to the journalists the other day that apparently that was just to throw them off the scent.
Yeah, it's politics at its finest, isn't it? You slander whoever it's convenient to slander, and then join whoever it's convenient to join. I mean, you know, if he hadn't made those comments, he'd still be making the same ones about the Reform Party.
He said actually that he would have left to go to the Reform Party whether he lost the Tory whip or not.
Well, I don't know about that, but given the comments that he's made and got the whip removed for, then I think maybe he is a better fit for the Reform Party, unfortunately. Though I think there is something quite poetic that the first Reform Party member of Parliament isn't Nigel Farage, a man who, to my knowledge, has still never been in Parliament, despite his... I
think he was in the party when it had a different name right at the start.
Yeah, but... so I find it funny that this man will never be an MP, I don't think, unless there's a strong switch towards the right wing, which, I mean, Reform UK is rising, but it'll be interesting to see how well Reform UK do in the next election, and what impact how they do will have on the Conservative Party's performance in the next election as well, because the Reform UK will, if they're gaining votes, the only voters they'll be taking away from are Conservative voters, because there's nobody that would be voting for Labour and would then go, actually, I think I'll vote Reform, or for Lib Dem, or for Green. It'll only be taking votes away from the Conservative Party, and that'll be interesting to see at what point, you know, whether the Reform UK change their policies to try and almost help the Conservative Party.
Those views of the fact that because basically Lee Anderson said that he believes more Conservative MPs may follow his lead, and Danny Kruger, who is the co-leader of the New Conservatives group of Tory MPs, said that this change, these possible moves, reflects how the Conservative Party have lost a coalition of voters who voted for them in 2019. He said it should act as a wake-up call for the Conservatives to try and reassemble their politicians as a group, but James Cleverly, the Home Secretary, also added the same thing as what Billy just said, that a vote for reform will only let in a Labour government, because as Billy has said, it will split the vote, as Conservative voters a lot would have the option if there were more Reform MPs, to choose between the two. But I also thought it was not funny, it was interesting about the fact that Lee Anderson said that his views were driven by his father. He described his father as his political advisor, saying that his father spent his days discussing politics, football, current affairs, law and order, and national security, which I thought sounds very similar to someone I'm sat in the room with, actually.
I don't know what you mean. I mean, if my dad was my political advisor, I'd probably be voting for the Communist Party. That man is left wing to all hell. But yeah, no, I think that's a sign. You need to have your own views in life. You can't be following what your parents do. Otherwise, it would be. Otherwise, I don't think Labour would be winning the next election. That's for sure. It's interesting that in the last one, this issue was arose again about, because at the time, the Reform Party was the Brexit Party in the last election, and there was a very similar discourse about whether they would take votes away from the Conservatives. And what the Brexit Party ended up doing was they decided not to field candidates in hundreds of seats in order for people to be forced to vote Conservative instead. So they actively helped the Conservative Party by not putting people in candidacy, and in turn that obviously boosted the Conservatives to their majority, because, you know, it gave an extra 5-6% of the vote straight towards them.
Yeah. Reform UK may be quite popular with Labour by the time it gets to the election. By that I mean it will quite possibly send majorities their way.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny. Lee Anderson's mum, in this speech that Lee Anderson did about his family and his parents, he said obviously that his dad has all these interests in politics, football and current affairs, and that his mum spends her days telling the dad to shut up, which I thought was quite nice, really.
I think that also sounds like someone that I'm sat in the room with.
Yeah, are we Lee Anderson's parents?
Hopefully not.
Not.
Should we get another tune on?
I'll get another
song. And then we'll move on to some more stories. We've got some entertainment stories coming up. You'll never guess what. And we've got some American politics as well.
I just wanna go back to 1999. Take a ride to my old neighborhood. I just wanna go back. See, hit me, baby, one more time. Wanna go back, wanna go. Yeah, I just wanna go back. No, you can't solve that. CD, oh Mercedes. Drive around listening to Shady like, oh, never under pressure. Those days it was so much better. Feeling cool in my youth, relaxing, no money, no problem. It was easy back then. Wish that we could
feeling so young. My room singing Michael Jackson. Never under pressure. Those days it was so much better. Feeling cool in my youth, I'm asking, does anyone remember how we did it back then?
Oh, wish that we could go back in time. Got memories. Oh, maybe we could do it tonight, tonight, tonight. I just wanna go back to 1999. Take a ride to my old neighborhood. I just wanna go back. Sing hit me, baby, one more time. Wanna go back to where we came from. Playing air guitar on the roof, in the kitchen up on the table, like we had a beautiful view. I wanna go. I just wanna go back to 1999.
Back to 1999. I know those days are over, but a boy can fantasize about JTT and MTV. And when I close my eyes, and I'm right there, and he's right there. I'm right there.
I wanna go back. I just wanna go back to 1999. Take a ride to my old neighborhood. I just wanna go back. Say hit me, baby, one more time. Wanna go back to where we came from. Playing air guitar on the roof, in the kitchen up on the table, like we had a beautiful view. I wanna go. I just wanna go back to 1999. Go back, yeah. I just wanna go back to 1999.
We're back. This is Pure FM, and next story up on our list we've got here is I've got that TikTok might be getting banned in the United States, and that's not even a rumor. It's a very real possibility because the US House of Representatives have passed a bill that could lead to the ban of TikTok in the US. It gives TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, it gives them 6 months to sell its controlling stake of the company. Otherwise, it would be blocked by the United States. And this bill has been passed. However, it also needs to clear the Senate, and it does need to be signed off by the president. So there is still steps to take before this would come into force or come into action. I'm still a believer that it just won't happen because TikTok is such a humongous app, and it would just be ludicrous for it to be banned, in my opinion. I also believe that in the run-up to an election, the president will be wanting to certainly win support from young people, seeing as that would be his sort of target demographic, if you tend to believe that older people are more inclined to vote Trump and younger are more inclined to vote Biden. So it would be counterintuitive of him to ban an app that almost all young people love in the run-up to an election. So I don't think he'd sign off on this, but it has made it through the House of Representatives, and if it were to go all the way through and TikTok were to be banned or ByteDance were forced to sell their controlling stake, it would lead to quite a big dispute between China and the US, which I think is something we could all quite happily avoid. It's a big dispute between China and the US. TikTok chief executive Shou Chu has said that the company is committed to keeping data safe, and that the platform will remain free of any manipulation. The Wall Street Journal investigation onto the app did show that the system was, in its own words, porous, that some information did get sent over to China or leaked to China. However, I just think it's a case of adults talking about young people stuff, and I just think it's a load of waffle. Like, I don't know if you saw the interviews that they did with the head of TikTok in America in the courts, where they are asking him like the funniest, like stupidest questions imaginable.
Oh, I've seen that, and everyone just like memed it.
Yeah, like the poor TikTok executive is like looking at them like, are you guys stupid? Like, it's a bunch of sort of middle-aged American politicians going like, so if TikTok's on the Wi-Fi network, can TikTok access every device on the network? He's like, well, no. It's just accesses
Prime
the Wi-Fi.
example why you need young people in these areas.
Exactly. I think it's such an American example of you know, middle-aged people going, "Oh, I don't understand this newfangled tactic thing," and they're trying to get rid of
Talking
it.
to your granddad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's that there is some possible issues with data mishandling, but I don't believe it's to the extent that the Americans say, and I don't think it should be banned because it's such a prominent app. Well, I don't know what I'd do without without TikTok. I love
know.
TikTok. I think on average I spend 1 day out of my 7 a week on TikTok, like legitimately.
I wouldn't like to agree with you, but I would say probably the same. Maybe not actually. I'd hope not. Good
Mine's
few hours though. But so is the main concern in America the data protection aspect, or is it sort of like what's going on with that? Because in my opinion, these days young people get a lot of their news from TikTok, from all the studies we've done in our lectures and things like that. Social media is the way forward with distributing news to young people. Without TikTok, they are just shutting off a huge information stream. I mean, places like Google have become concerned with the fact that TikTok is used as a search engine nowadays, and I know I use it as a search engine. I'll type in like holiday destinations and things like that. So TikTok isn't just an entertainment app. It can be used for education, whether you believe that's a good or bad thing.
The two things that the Americans are pressed over are, one, data being leaked to China, whether that be information of who's using TikTok, you know, what the American trends are, stuff like that, and also Chinese influence over TikTok. So maybe telling TikTok to censor some stuff to promote other stories. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it to the extent that of what the Americans are saying. And you're right, it is a huge information stream for younger people. But again, in the run-up to an election, maybe it's more the Republicans that want it to be censored because they feel that the information on TikTok is more inclined to support Democrat policies. But yeah, no, TikTok's so we need TikTok in our lives. Like, well, I genuinely, as much as it's a fuel, it is addictive, but I love it. I love TikTok.
He's getting emotional over TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do with that. I'd have to resort to other social media. I can't. I mean, actually, X is popping off right now. X is a good social media to be on.
I mean, actually, no, it's not a good social media. It's bad. But when there's something you need to laugh about, it's really good. But I don't know, with the whole TikTok thing, I wonder if that would ever be something that would be politicised in the UK.
We're too smart for that.
Because I don't see in a free country you can't start banning social medias because of the concept of communication. I obviously understand the whole censoring idea, but surely removing an entire app is censoring to an entire another level. It's like we criticise, this is a bit dramatic, but we criticise North Korea for not having any, like, not allowing any social medias in their country and external communication. How can we then, in a free world, start taking away other social medias? It's just following suit. I don't know.
Yeah, there might be. Look, I might have got this wrong, but from what I have seen, it's essentially Americans believing that in China they are taking everyone's data and they're manipulating the American population with their app TikTok. And if there is hard evidence to suggest that China is actively manipulating, you know, the American population and what they see and what they do, then yes, that's fair enough. That's not good. You don't want another country manipulating your own population, obviously. But I think it's just I think the American politicians just sort of believe they do. They're like, oh, they're the sort of people that would do that. And without too much evidence or enough evidence to support the lengths they're going to. But we'll see what happens, because it's made it through the House of Representatives, still got the Senate and the President to go.
There's a lot of these sort of
There's a lot of things that don't make it all the way through. So we'll see. Maybe on the show down the line we'll be talking about whether it made it through the Senate or not. But hopefully, well, something I've seen a lot of on TikTok is clips from the Oscars.
Yes.
And I know that you've been keeping up to date with what went on.
I have been. I sort of created this thing on this show that I am the awards show girl. Every single radio show there seems to be another awards show. But anyway, the Oscars were back again this week. So the Oscars offers 23 awards to do with film and just aims to celebrate the films. It does tend to be quite American based. I don't know what goes on with that. But anyway, so Oppenheimer, of course, takes away 7 awards at the Oscars. So those awards include Best Picture, which is the most coveted prize at the Oscars, Best Director for Christopher Nolan, Best Actor for Cillian Murphy, Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr., Best Editing by Jennifer Lame, Best Cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytema, and Best Original. I don't know what this is. I've written down score. I don't know if that's right.
Best original score would make sense.
That's for Ludwig Göransson. What's the score?
Score's the soundtrack.
Oh, see, I just wrote it down and didn't take in what that actually was.
I agree for all of those except for supporting actor. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. I think there were better ones than Robert Downey Jr. But all the others, I can back.
I think Oppenheimer's award cabinet's getting a little bit full, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's getting a bit greedy.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit greedy, especially as Barbie has barely won anything. I mean, Barbie won at the Oscars one award, which wasn't really for Barbie. It was for Billie Eilish's "What Was I Made For" soundtrack. And it was a really lovely performance, actually. She performed it alongside her brother Phineas in a bit of a duet, and it was really sweet, and it's really nice. I'd definitely say watch that. And I'm gutted Barbie hasn't won anything. I don't think he's actually won anything across any of the award shows that I've covered. It seems to be getting snubbed. But they did a bit of a piece, Ryan Gosling and one of the actresses from Oppenheimer, and they sort of joked around on stage about how Barbie hasn't won anything. It was quite sweet, really. I guess it doesn't matter if you don't win an award, if you've made such a huge impact. I mean, last year was the year of the pink, the year of Barbie. So
I think it's
maybe
the
that's
people's
an award
favourite.
in itself.
Yeah, the people's favourite. I still want to see Barbie. I never got around to seeing it.
I haven't watched Oppenheimer.
Everyone thought I was joking when I said I wanted to go and see it, so no one went with me.
Maybe we need to have a Barbenheimer cinema
Oh,
night.
you show me Barbie, I'll show you Oppenheimer.
Yeah, exactly.
That can be
Oppenheimer does last quite long, doesn't
It
it?
is very long. It is very long.
Also, where is it? Poor Things won 4 awards. So Emma Stone won Best Actress, and Poor Things, I was interested in watching it, just because I saw a couple of the trailers for it. But they won 3 awards also, as well as Best Actress, for stylistic awards. So Best Costume and Production, and Best Makeup and Hair, which, I mean, sounds quite nice. I quite like aesthetically appealing films. I really enjoy watching them. But yeah, also another thing that went viral at the Oscars was Ryan Gosling's infamous "I'm Just Ken" performance. It was brilliant. I've watched it on TikTok and all different angles, and it was just really, really good.
I love Ryan Gosling.
I love Ryan Gosling as well. It's hard to separate Ryan Gosling and Ken at this point. He is just merged. But it's quite a good performance. Like, they have all the original cast as well. Like the Kuti Gatwa was on stage as well, which was quite cool. Even the cowboy hat, not even the cowboy hat, even the cameraman who was filming on the stage wore a cowboy hat, which I thought was quite cute, really.
Aww.
But La La Land fans were also very pleased by the performance, because Ryan Gosling comes off stage and hands Emma Stone the mic, and she does a little piece, and all the people who shipped them after La La Land were very happy with that as well. So that's sort of my overall summary of the Oscars. All the fashion was really good as well. I saw a video of Sabrina Carpenter getting her photo taken on the way in with Barry Keoghan next to her, sorry. And they're both stood on the red carpet, and the cameraman are shouting at Barry Keoghan, being like, "Barry, Barry," and he's just staring at Sabrina Carpenter, which I completely understand. If I was Barry Keoghan, I'd be stood there staring at Sabrina Carpenter instead of at the camera.
Is that the photo of them where they look like year 7s, where they got their hands over their face?
No, that's another one.
No,
Those
okay.
are when because obviously Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keoghan, they're rumoured to be together. I think
they're.
they're officially.
I think I saw a headline that they're official. Barry Keoghan's a strange looking man.
I think strange looking men are sometimes the best looking men.
Amen to that. Did you see the John Cena appearance?
Oh my gosh, yes. And he's holding what's he holding a box over?
He's holding because he was doing the nominees for an award. He was holding the card with the nominees on it and the winner over him.
Over him, and he was naked.
Yeah. Side note: he was entirely naked.
Yes.
He presented the award entirely naked. That's the thing is, people were like, "That's an initiation ritual into the humiliation ritual into the Illuminati." No, it's just John Cena. It's just the sort of guy he is. He really doesn't care.
If I was a man and I was built like John Cena, I'd be parading around naked as well. He's absolutely massive.
In fact, you know what? I think every award should be hosted naked. Screw it.
I mean, I'm sure I'll get more viewers.
I would watch.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever actually streamed
Let's
one of
go.
these award ceremonies live? Because
Oh.
I never have. I don't even know where to watch them.
Well, they're on TV.
I would never. I mean,
They're on ITV or BBC or one of them. I
I'm a
used
student.
to.
I don't pay my TV license.
I used to watch the Oscars and sometimes the BAFTAs because my mum would watch it on TV. So I would sit and watch it with her back in the day. But since I've been at uni, I don't really watch them live. I just sort of, again, see it on TikTok the next day, just all the highlights, all the clips, see what happened. Yeah, no, I think Oscars is normally like the sort of final award show of the period. I think so. We might be award showed out, and then
Yeah.
we've got a whole nother year of films to look forward to and review.
Yeah. I mean, I've really got into films this year.
Maybe this year we should try and watch more films that we can review on the radio.
Yeah. We have food reviews. We're
Food-
gonna have film
yeah.
reviews. Wow, we're covering everything on this show.
You really get a little bit of everything.
Right, so we've got a very, very big story coming up. We thought we'd play you a song first.
Yeah, big story, crucial.
This is Maximo Park, Going Missing.